Hey everyone, it's Kevin from GetKevInsight.com. So today I wanted to talk about a very sensitive topic that if violence, obviously violence bothers you if you're watching this, but if you don't want to hear about this and why violence occurs in the world energetically, please, maybe this isn't the right video for you if you want to move forward or move on to another video. So the question is, why is there gun violence or other just violence in general in the world? And the situation is because people feel that they are separate from others. They don't feel as though they are connected to each other and that they are, it's all, everyone's in it for themselves, kind of a feeling. So people will be violent towards each other, steal from each other, and other things because they feel they're separate, that they are doing it for themselves, okay? And it's not affecting them. However, that's not the case because since we are all a part of source energy, we are one. We make up source as a collective. We make up source, not just us on this planet, other planets, universes, dimensions, realms, all make up source. And so with violence, people feel as though, sorry, it's thundering out. People feel like they're separate and that they don't care. But the issue is, the lower the frequency of the person, the less connected to source they feel. So if you have someone who's very angry, was brought up in maybe an abusive situation, was treated poorly by others, they may be in a very low vibrational state. And again, with low vibrational state, you will feel further away and further away from source itself. The higher the energy, higher vibration a person is, the closer to source you feel. So there is a disconnect from the people that are low vibration, who are angry, afraid, sad. They're going to have the possibility of lashing out at others in very negative ways. Whereas someone who is of high frequency, who feels joy and love for others, who is understanding of others, tolerant of others, they are closer to source energy, being of higher frequency, and therefore are going to be much less there's much less of a possibility of violence because they feel that oneness that we all are. So I'm not saying that violence is good. I'm not saying that at all. I'm against violence in general. I'm against bullying in general. But I'm trying to help you to understand why it exists and why it happens. There is a disconnect from source. They feel that they are alone and that there is no oneness in this world, when in reality, we are all one. We're all from the same source. So we all have to respect each other, tolerate each other, love each other. But that's going to happen as the frequency of the earth rises and continues to rise. Negative energies will not be able to exist on this planet because it's going to be too much. Negative energies will be wiped away as the frequency of this planet rises. Negative energies simply can't exist. But that's down the road. That's not now. And we're living in the now, right? So we have to try to understand why it's happening. Not that we agree about, agree with it, but that we understand why it's occurring. And we have to hope for the best and hope that people can finally understand that love will always win. It's the highest frequency. Love will always win. So, how can we change the world now? I've mentioned it before. I'm going to mention it again. It starts with us individually, as within ourselves. We can change that. So you can change this by, instead of fighting and getting angry, how can you raise your frequency today? Stop watching the news. Stop putting yourself in negative situations. Hang around with people that are wonderful and positive and loving instead of negative. Listen to high frequency, happy music. Watch something on TV that's really hilarious, that makes you laugh. Your environment matters. And if you're in a negative environment, you have the ability to get out of that negative environment and place yourself in a more positive environment as well. So we can take accountability for ourselves, like everyone should. But the higher the frequency that we have, the more of that feeling of oneness that we all truly are as a collective. So I hope this makes sense. Hope this resonates with you. If it does, please like, share, and subscribe. And I hope you have a beautiful day. Even though it's raining and thunder, rain brings life and growth. Okay? So anyway, have an amazing day. Bye.